submission is from UMB and would ask Mr. Miles Hagan, who is the head of channels UMB, to please join us.
Hi, and it's indeed very exciting to see all of us. I'll tell you something. UMB came on this year for a very specific reason. We want you to join our mega train. So this morning we came with speed, and I want everyone to do a very simple thing. So we are going to do a small simulation. I want all of us, I'm sure we all have our phones. Kindly pick your phone just by wave. Let me see your phones. Yes, are you waving it? I hope you didn't leave your phone anywhere. So you have it with you. All right, good. We are going to help me find our speed train. So quickly go to Play Store. They will be screening it very soon. But just go to Play Store or your iStore or your Windows Store. And as you are doing it, I want you to engage me. I'll be looking at your faces. So those who are not looking down at their phone, I'll call you and ask you, why did you leave your phone? Can we start? Yes. You don't have data. That's why UMB's speed up is data free. So you have no case. Let's go on to the stores and look for it. So unless your network is acting up, I can tell you, you will definitely find it. So have you picked your phones? Have you tried searching? Just go to Google Play or iOS or Windows, type UMB speed up. I can see some hands, yes. My friend from MTN has found it already. We'll be mirroring it. I don't know if they're okay. So we are going to do a PowerPoint just to help you find it. But look for UMB speed up. And then once you go there, just press install. Just under UMB speed up. Very quickly, very easy to do. Within seconds. Who has found it? Remember, we have a surprise package for the first 10. So I'm looking out for the 10 quickest to. Team will be identifying you. So just wave it well. Yes, that is the fantastic. Now, once you've gotten there, you quickly go to self-register. So you'll see a very nice icon with a face self-register, and then press on it. And the beauty of this package is, even if you are not banking with UMB, you can roll out with UMB because we want you to be a mega part. Have you gone to self-register? Good. Now we are going to the next one. You choose non-customer under self-register. And then you will see this very, very engaging screen. You just need 4 key details. Your first name, your last name, scroll to your date of birth, put your ID, and then your mobile number, your email, and then voila, accept the terms and conditions, and you're on our app. Very, very simple. So first name, last name, your email, mobile number, choose your ID, key in the number, accept terms and conditions, and we are in business. Now, what we want to do when we finish is, during the break, we have a stand at the back, and then during the wow moment, we are also going to put a spin the wheel here. And everyone here, once you show us, is going to get a mega surprise. But those who are quickest, so the first 20, your package will be more juicier than the last 100. So if I were you, and I'm very sure we all want to get the best of the best. So make sure you're amongst the first 10 or first 20 that quickly engages us out there, and you'll be excited. Remember, UMB wants to be part of your future and want to start now. So this morning we came here with a simple purpose. Join our train and enjoy the best of banking services. Now someone will ask, what is in it for me? Enjoy the best interest. Enjoy swift banking on your phone 24/7. And the best bit is, every step of the way, you'll get to know as your money is increasing, as you are purchasing insurance, as you are purchasing treasury bills, any investment product you have in mind, remember, you can do it with UMB. And ultimately, when you get to the top, we'll all be there because we know we have been with you from the very beginning. So once I sit down and during the break, anytime you get, just join us at our stand, spin the wheel, and enjoy the best of banking. How many have downloaded everything? By show of hand. The network is shaky. Don't worry, you have the whole day. So once you leave here, keep doing it. We'll keep your numbers and then we'll engage to make sure we get the best banking app on your phone. Thank you very much and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hagen. Our next presentation is from our title sponsor, MTN. When I say MTN, what's the response? MTN. Please let's welcome Mr. Dominic Chinibua-Debra, who is the Mobile Money Territory Sales Controller for the Central Region.
Good afternoon, y'all. Why the A? Okay, once again, my name is Dominic Debra Chinibua, and I'm in charge of mobile money for Central Region. In the few minutes, I'm going to talk to you about mobile money, where we are, where we have been to, PIN code management, and fraud. Mobile money, can someone tell me when mobile money was introduced into the country and have an amazing award? Okay, let me go on. Mobile money was introduced into the country 2009. So this year marks a decade of our milestone celebration. So customers should look forward for amazing promos and prizes that's going to be given out. When we started with a 0 subscriber. I would say a very big thank you to you all for helping us achieve this milestone. Now we have over 8.5 million subscribers across the country, and we have about 120,000 agents. That's where you go and perform your cash in and cash out transactions. When MTN was introduced first, it was all about going to withdraw and receive money or send money. But now, looking at how the economy and moving into the cashless environment, we have brought up a lot of innovative services on the platform. Now we have link to bank account. So if you have a bank account and you have mobile money, you can easily link your wallet to your account. That's one of the key innovations we created. You can pay bills. You can pay school fee. If I say bills, you can pay your DSTV. You can pay GoTV, water bill through mobile money. We have quick loan, Betway. Those of you who are into betting, yeah, Betway is one of the key innovations. Yeah, you can pay. You can buy airtime, and you're gonna have 100% bonus upon every airtime purchase on the mobile money platform. Some of us are retailers. We have something we call EVD Momo. That one you can also buy mobile money and sell to our customers digitally. These are some of the key innovations that we have brought. And I would like to talk about mobile money fraud and do's and don'ts of mobile money. That's MTN. Mobile money is covered with a PIN code. If you say PIN, who knows the meaning of PIN? Personal identification number. So that is PIN, and it's for you alone, not for the family or for a friend. So you make sure you protect your PIN code. You know how to manage it. Whenever you feel your PIN code has been compromised, you can change it at any time. Several times that you want to change your PIN code at the point you feel your PIN code has been compromised. You do not entertain calls from anybody talking about your mobile money wallets, because it can lead to you being defrauded. So one, don't share your PIN code. Don't entertain any calls. Second, thirdly, reversals. When you talk about reversal, when you do wrong deposit, you send money to somebody wrongly, it is not done by any individual. I can't even myself call you for reversal. Reversals are done at the MTN office. We have a lot of branches. We have a lot of outlets around. You can go there and report whatever wrong deposit you've done for the reversal to be done for you. I wish you all the best. We have a sales stand outside. If you are not registered yet, you can go with your ID card. We have the passport, license, driver's license, voter's ID. You go and you register. So MTN, we do for you. We are in to make your life a whole lot brighter. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.
In this part of the world, we are up long before the sun. Playing our part to make our world, our connections, and relationships a lot more brighter. They say agrobeswa, ne frianopa. Start your day bright. In this part of the world, we are up long before the sun. Playing our part to make our world, our connections, and relationships a lot more brighter. They say agrobeswa, ne frianopa. Start your day bright with MTN Kokroko. For only 1 Ghana cedi, you can enjoy 400 megabytes of data and 30 minutes of free MTN to MTN calls every day from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. everywhere you go. Dial *138# to buy the MTN Kokroko bundle now.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
So we're not going to have microphones in the aisles. We've moved on. Springboard is high tech. We're digitally inclined and up to date. So please send your questions by WhatsApp to the number 024 555. And you have to put in your first name, your city, and then your questions. And if you have multiple questions, please number them. So if you're sending in a message from Accra and your name is Abba, you would say, Accra, Abba, and my question is, how do I get a brand new MTN 4G enabled phone? Join the wow moment. Simple answer. And so our first presentation is going to be done by Mrs. Georgina Asari-Fabino, who is the Senior Manager Corporate Communications of MTN Ghana. She's responsible for leading MTN's corporate communications team and oversees the execution and implementation of strategies aimed at promoting and maintaining a positive reputation for the company to achieve profitability. She leads the development and execution of strategies to improve internal and external communications, media relations, community relations, stakeholder engagement, and leadership communications. She has a great passion for development communications and stakeholder management. She started off her career in the consulting practice from Strategic Communications, which is now Stratcom Africa, and managed key accounts such as British Airways and the Board of Airlines of Ghana Association. She then joined SOS Ghana as the head of communications and fundraising. Gina is an accredited public relations practitioner and an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing, Ghana. Please let's put our hands together and welcome Mrs. Georgina Asari Fiagbenu.
Hello. Hello, everyone. MTN. MTN. Springboard. Springboard. I thought Cape Coast was going to be the most active. I'm not feeling you yet. I need some noise. I need some noise. So let's hear it for the Springboard team who have done an excellent job all these years. Let's give them a round of applause for bringing us together every year and for getting us inspired and motivated. And give yourselves another round of applause for being here and being on time. So this afternoon, I'm just going to we have just 20 minutes to unpack what we are going to talk about. But before we do that, I just need a little more vibe from you. So I want you to be on your feet. Just be on your feet. Don't be lazy. You know, one of the things you have to understand is that to be able to position yourself well in life, not just on the job market, there's a lot you have to put in. Okay, and that's exactly what we are going to talk about. We are going to talk about positioning. And talking about positioning in 20 minutes, I don't know how we are going to do it, but we are going to do it. But the truth is that to position yourself well in life, there's a lot you have to put in. And standing is just the easiest part of it. Okay? We stand every time. So give another round of applause to yourself for being inspired. And what I want you to do is to stretch. Just stretch a bit. Stretch. Just be comfortable. Stretch. I don't see you guys stretching though. When you stretch, it's not just your hands. Okay? I want to see someone who is really doing the stretch. Okay? Because the truth is that when you stretch, you should take up a bit more space. Yes. So when I said stretch, I didn't tell you where to stretch to. Whether to the left or to the right, up or down. Are you getting me? Anyhow, anyway, you have to take up a bit of more space. And that's one of the things you have to learn. Please be on your seats. Just take your seats. And as you do that, give us the final round of applause for the first 2 minutes. I believe more will be coming. So, the stretch was just to get you to understand the world we are in now. It's a stretched world. Isn't it? It's a stretched world. We've gone through so many generations. We've gone through in phases, centuries, decades. And in Accra, we're learning about the Industrial Revolution and all the things that have happened right and up until now that we are in the digital world. It's a stretched world. And it will continue to stretch. And we have to stretch ourselves to be able to occupy the positions we want in life. Okay? That's one of the first things we have to learn. You have to stretch yourself to be able to take up more space. And whether you are a student or a worker or an apprentice, or of course an apprentice is someone learning a trade, whatever you are doing, positioning yourself starts with you. You have to make that decision exactly where you want to be and how you are going to get there. Nobody is going to do it for you. And it starts from the time you come to that realization. And now, I'm saying it's a stretch world because I'm sure you hear all sorts of things. People go to school, they finish, people are queuing for jobs. People are even prepared to take jobs that are lower than they would ideally have loved to get into, okay? And they are not even finding it. So there are lots of limitations around us. But you can make a decision whether you would position yourself based on the limitations that are available, or you position yourself based on the space that is available for you. You have to make that decision. You have to take up more space. And I think that the digital world gives us a lot of opportunity to do that. Okay, so I think everything starts with our mindset. Where are you now and where do you want to be and how are you going to get there? And you won't do that by going through the regular things you do. You know, doing the norm. Going to school, you have to go to JSS and go through SSS or SHS, and they keep on changing their names, whether it's double track or single track or SHS or SSS. There's an S, isn't it? It means that there's a study. You are going to study, basically. Whether it's SH or double tracking or whatever. So, the names and the nomenclature should not change your approach to how you are going to approach your studies, isn't it? The most important thing is that there's a study. You have to study to be able to, one, get on the road and make yourself relevant. And to do that, I would say you have to take a 360-degree approach. You have to look at yourself. Where are you now? I'm a student. I'm a worker. Because even when you are working, you can't stop learning. You are learning every time. Because if you don't get into the continuous learning mode, you will be out of market within a short time. That's the reality. So look at where are you now? And you have all those balls there. The white one and the yellow one showing a happy face. Where are you? Are you a student? And are you alone? Where are you positioned? And you can't be alone. And I'm happy that we've already spoken about networking. Leaving your cars, talking to people. And when I say taking a 360-degree look at where you are, even in looking for a job, you have to do that. I remember when I left one job and I was getting onto another. And I didn't know exactly how to start because I was working in a consulting and I wanted to move on, went and had my second child, came back, and I was looking for a job. And I had sent out a few applications, just a few of them. And I started looking at myself. It always starts with yourself. What do I have? Who do I know? Where do I go? So when I say you have to take a 360-degree look at yourself, you have to look up, look down, look right, look left, look back, look forward. Look at every angle of your life, where you are, who you know, and what you can do with the relationships you have. Are you getting me? Because positioning is not something that anybody is going to get for you. People will attempt to help you, but you always have to look at yourself. And in critical moments when people have been able to break through, it always starts with they having a meeting with themselves. You have to look at yourself and look at what you have and what you can use what you have. So where are you now? And what do you have? So you looked up. The people up. Who do you know? Who do you want to talk to? It can be advice. The fact that you know someone up there doesn't mean the person has to give you a job. Because the person may not have it. But the person may help you find one, or they can give you good advice about something you can do. You can look at your side, your peers. Your peers can give you very good leads. when I finished communication school, and I was looking, actually I started communication school, I was going then to Radio Universe, and I was volunteering my time. And so the volunteers here, let's give a round of applause to our volunteers here. They are doing a great job. That's how you start. So I started volunteering. I'll go to Radio Universe. And how did I even get the air to go there? Because I realized they were doing morning shows and all that. And then I told them one day, I just went to the station master and told them, I want to join your panel. And he said, oh, you are welcome. So I just joined and started talking and discussing things. So when I finished school and I was looking for a job, it was very easy for me to go back to him. In fact, I didn't have to go back. He called me and said, do you want to come and do something whilst waiting? And so I became a news editor, working with the station for no fee for 6 months. And I did that for 6 months. And every day, my husband would drive me to work and back, and I wasn't being paid. Okay, so volunteering is a great way of positioning yourself for life. And whilst I was there, and when I say take a 360-degree look, it works. Because whilst I was there, of course, I went up to the manager, and I got the volunteering. And then, when I say look sideways, look at the people who are the same level with you, who are my friends. I had one of my friends who called me, and AC Hammond, she's the head of PR for Bank of Ghana. And she called me and said, Gina, I got a job in a communications consulting, but I used to work before I came. So I still want to go back to my company, my organization. But I think this job will be good for you. When I look at the profile, I think the job suits you. So can you go and talk to the CEO and see what comes out of it? So I went to see the CEO, and that day she said, can you start work tomorrow? And I wasn't even ready. Are you getting me? So it was a friend who led me to that job. And that is why friendship is very important. You don't discount the people, who are your friends. And that is why this is very important. This 360 degrees, and also looking at where you are positioned, the network you are in. Sometimes you may think, oh, these people, what do they have to offer? But you can never tell what they have to offer. And that is why you are the center, and you are in the network. And when you ask me what a network is, I say a network is a net that works. Isn't it? It's a net. It must work for you. Okay, the net is the connection you have with people. You are connected to different people. And so that's a net. And it must work. And how does it work? It only works if you are able to make good use of it, talk to people, connect better, show respect to everybody you engage. That's one of my principles, showing respect. And building good relationships. I am a champion of relationships because most of the things I enjoy now came from relationships. Okay, so positioning is really important. And here you have to go beyond sea level to position yourself well for the future and to be able to get the best out of life. You have to go beyond sea level. What do I mean by sea level? Going beyond sea level means you must reach the sea level before you go beyond. Because when I say go beyond sea level, it means you must get to some level and go beyond that. So the sea level, the S for me is stretch. Stretching, you have to do more than you are doing now. You have to look around. I have my daughter, my second daughter, she's the third child, is only 13. And when I tell you we have to take advantage of everything we have now, especially the digital world. She just loves photography. I don't know how she got to love it. But she just came to us one day and said she wanted a professional camera. And we said, what are you doing? The phones are there. You can take pictures. She said, no, she wants to take proper pictures. with professional cameras. And she had gone to the internet and she knew the amount. And it was going to cost us, the camera that she chose, it was going to cost us about 3,000 cedis or so. And we said, we can't afford this. In the first place, you are in school. 13 years, what do you want to do with a camera? And she, she will pester us and pester us. And that is what I call stretching. She really stretched us. And so we had to call a friend and ask the friend, our daughter wants to learn photography and all that. How much will it cost? And he gave us about the same amount. He told us where we could get it. Guess what? The following week, the person called us and said, I'm buying one. I'll buy one and send it to you for your daughter. So we got that camera. Why? Because we also asked. We could have just sat back and said, oh, we don't have the money. We don't plan to do it. But because she was stretching us and giving us wahala, we just had to make the step for her to know. So we started inquiring. And when we inquired and the person heard the story, the person said, this must be an ambitious girl. Because she's only 13. And we got her, the person sent her the camera. And another person also heard the story and said, I'm going to offer you free training. If you can bring her every weekend, she can follow our crew when they are going on location, and we'll teach her how to use the camera. It's a Canon. And so she started. The last time we had a church program. Our church was celebrating its 35th anniversary. She took the pictures. She's 13. She took the pictures. And we had our choir last year, December, doing a program. And they didn't, the previous year, they took a photographer. And this year, she did a photo shoot for the choir. And when she was taking the pictures, I remember they were all laughing and saying, Ayuam, are you sure this girl will bring us pictures? And she bought the pictures and edited them because they had taught her how to edit. She had downloaded the tools herself. And she edited and sent the pictures. And that's what we used for all our promotions. She's only 13. So, this is not regular education. You have to explore your world. And all of us have something we can do. Rather than just sitting in the classroom is very good. But there's something that you know you can do naturally. The school is very good. We all went to school. But something, if you are lucky and you go to school, you are an accountant and you end up being an accountant, that's fine. But you can be an engineer and be a marketer. And we're talking, Petra and I were talking about a former boss of mine who is a chartered accountant and a chartered marketer. Such a rare combination. The CIMG president we have now, Kojo Mata, he's a chartered accountant and a chartered marketer. So when I met him at SOS Ghana, when we were working together, although he came to join an organization that was non-profit, his attitude towards leadership was completely different because he had both accounting and marketing. So you can imagine, once he was driving costs down, he was still pushing for marketing and communications, which thrives on high spend. But he was able to do both. So you can follow your passion. You can only do that if you explore. How would you know you can do it unless you start? You have to look for something that excites you, and you don't have to wait till you finish school. That's the point I want to make. I have a friend, my husband's friend, who said their daughter, I think I'll need just about 5 minutes. The daughter, 5 minutes more to my time, so operating team, please forgive me. She said the daughter is very good with mathematics. She was in one school, I think she was in Wesley Girls or one of these very top-rated schools. And she'll go on the internet and compete in maths exams online. The parents didn't tell her to do that. She just decided to go online and she was searching. And she will compete and compete and compete. And I think she did extremely well in some international mathematics competition. Guess what? Another school, one of the international schools in Ghana, saw her performance. And they actually, have you seen a student being poached? We know about workers being poached. Yes, she did extremely well. They went looking for her and they negotiated with the parents and said, we are taking your child from Wesley Girls. I think it should be Wesley Girls or one of the schools in Cape Coast, here in Cape Coast. And they got her to that international school. Fully paid scholarship. She just got hooked on the line for a good purpose. And for a good purpose is very important because most of us spend all our time on our phones doing absolutely nothing. Just chatting, looking at pictures, and yes, they are good. But beyond that, what are you getting out of it? That's a decision you have to make. That's positioning. That's positioning. You can be on the internet the whole day and get a degree out of it, get a job out of it, get a business idea out of it. And you can also be on it all year long and get absolutely nothing. You may even get into trouble. And that's a fact. Because you know you can be sued for posting defamatory, material. I have someone that I know who got a close family member of mine to negotiate on his behalf because he posted, he was offended by the attitude of someone. This was a personal thing. And he posted it on Facebook. And the person sued him. So don't just be posting things because you feel like doing it. You always have to think through. And mind you, when people are recruiting, even for certain schools, they go online. Do you know that? Do you know that people go online? If you have a meeting with someone, you will go online to check out the person. Because if you don't know the person, who are you meeting? And now it's easier. You can go online and check out who the person is online. So, whatever you are doing, think about it. You are in school. Yes, you are there to get a degree. But before you get that degree, there's so much you can do. You can actually find a job before you finish school. And going to school will just be a requirement. And that brings me to my next E, extract. Extraction has to do with pulling out, drawing something. It comes with force, isn't it? So if you are looking for a better future, I won't even say a job, because a job is only one of the things we want in life. You want to position yourself for a rewarding, a successful future. You have to put some force into whatever you are doing. You have to think through. You may have good talent, but talent is not enough. Talent is not, a good immunization for poverty. There's actually a book by John Maxwell says talent is not enough. So you may be very talented, but what you do with that talent, how you harness it, is very important. So you have the C. You have to stretch yourself. You have to explore. You have to extract, meaning you have to go out of your way, forced to do things that you ideally will not be able to do. You have to learn, unlearn, create, recreate, do so many things to be able to get to where you want to be. So when I talk about going beyond sea level, yes, you've stretched yourself, you've explored, you've extracted knowledge or your gifts or your talents. You have to create. You have to create your own space sometimes, because not every employer will have space for everybody. That's the reality. That's the reality. Not every employer can employ everybody. So you may want to go to a certain company. Yes, they may love to have you, but at the time they may not have opportunities there for you. But you can create your own space. And that is why we are here today, because the Okrans created their own space, haven't they? So let's give it up to them for creating their own space. And imagine how many people have benefited from it. All of us are benefiting, aren't we? Aren't we? Yes, I have been working with them for well over 10 years. Of course, and I've done so much work, even in the background. It was only last year that I spoke at Springboard. So for the 8 years, what was I doing? I was working behind the scenes. I was exploring, I was extracting, I was stretching myself. And when I was given the opportunity to be a speaker, imagine that I had not gone beyond sea levels. I couldn't have created anything. I could just have said, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm afraid though. The people are many. They will be looking at me. They will be assessing me, judging me, looking at my hair and my trousers and my face and all that. Are you not doing that? You are. And you are doing it very well. And I would have done it if I were in your shoes. Anybody who comes here, we look at the person. Whether we like it or not, that's not your business. Are you getting me? But when you get the opportunity, create something and expect results. Okay, so just my final slides. And this is very important. A lot of people, I've seen so many people who think they are talented, they are gifted, and sometimes they misbehave. Don't we know a lot of talented people who misbehave? Why? Because they think they are gifted. But talent is good. But talent alone is not a lifetime immunization against poverty. The fact that you have talent doesn't mean you have immunization against poverty. There are lots of talented people who are poor. And talent is not a lifetime insurance for the future. You have talent, yes, but you must sharpen it. You must grow it. You must nurture it. You have knowledge. You must acquire more. So whatever you have, whether it's education or talent, is not enough. It's not a lifetime insurance. We have our insurance man here. And he can tell us whether that alone is not enough. It's not enough because you even have to take an insurance policy. Isn't it? You have to learn. You have to help people. You have to do so many things to be able to have a better future. So talent alone is not enough. And I would say that talent is the full utilization and monetization of your skills and building it into a rewarding vocation or job. So you can position yourself in such a way that you create your own job. You create your own business. You employ people, as the Okrans have done and many other people have done in this world. So I'm hoping that, like I said, we don't have enough time. You just have to remember C. Stretch, explore, extract. And after you've done that, you create and expect. You should always be in an expectation of good results. A lot of people are not courageous. They are afraid. That's why they don't go out. They don't step out of their comfort zone. You have to be brave. And I'm hoping we don't have enough time to share, like I said, but I think what I've shared is enough to at least last you till the next Springboard when you have other people coming to motivate you, because I believe you will keep on coming back. So hopefully I'll see you again soon. Of course, we'll be around to talk. But I hope that you will actually go beyond sea level and create a brighter future for yourself and your family. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Georgina Asare-Fiagbenu, who is the Senior Corporate Communications Manager for MTN. Please let's put our hands together for her once more. And she said a lot of very important things, but I just want us to reiterate something very critical. Go beyond sea level. And who remembers what sea meant? Stretch, explore, extract. Let's say that together. Stretch, explore, extract. So if you're tweeting or you're putting anything on Facebook, that's a good thing to share with your friends. Stretch, explore, and extract. Let's acknowledge Mrs. Fiagbenu one more time. She mentioned also that whilst you're doing the 360 evaluation of yourself, evaluate your friends. So I'm sure whilst you were sitting and listening, you were thinking, who do I know? It's possible you don't know anyone above you yet, or you don't even have very good friends who are your peers, today is a good opportunity for you to make some new friends. And so please ensure that you fill out your networking card. And when we have the break, meet someone. It is critical to your growth. Meet someone. So please fill out that card. Fastest fingers. Who has the fastest fingers? 3041135. It's fastest fingers. Okay. 304 11035 102757. Who got it? No one. 304 11035 102757. Who got it? No, there has to be someone in this hall. Or is there someone online? Did you get it? Did someone at the back get it? Congratulations, he did. I'll do two more. Are you ready? MTN. MTN. If you don't say it well, I won't share the numbers. MTN 838 776 265 1337. Who got it? Who got it? Did you get it? Incorrect. 838 776 262 51337. Those of you streaming online, someone got it. Congratulations. And those of you following us online, it's an opportunity for you to win credit as well. So please put your phones close to you. I would come back with my fastest fingers. Or should we do one more? Just one more. And you have to be fast. Are you ready? I'm not going to go over at snail slow pace this time. So please be ready. 365-225-460-86873. Someone got it. Well done. You're really fast. All right. A couple of reminders. Don't worry, I have enough. A couple of reminders. If you've not registered for the event, please do well to register. And if you've not sent in your questions, you can send in your question through the WhatsApp line 02499. You know I can take the rest of the cards home. 02499995555. So if you have questions, that's not fastest fingers. That's for questions. So if you have a question, please send your question to the number. We have it up on our screen. Your city, your first name, and your question. And we'll have those questions answered during the colloquium. Our next presentation is going to be delivered by a woman I have come to deeply admire. Many years ago when I first attended Springboard, it was just about me looking at her and wondering when was I ever going to be like that? Mrs. Comfort Okran is the Chief Executive Officer of Legacy and Legacy and the Executive Director of the Springboard Roadshow Foundation. She's a Fellow of the African Leadership Initiative, West Africa, and the Aspen Global Leadership Network. She's also a fellow of the U.S. Department of State's International Visitors Leadership Program. She presently serves on the boards of the Bank of Ghana, Enterprise Life Assurance Company Limited, and the Ghana Institute of Literacy, Linguistics, and Bible Translation. She's the co-author of 26 books. Please put your hands together. And the latest book is Snakes and Ladders, Entrapments and Enablements on the Complex Journey of Life. She's a regular columnist of graphic business in the Business and Financial Times, and is also the executive producer of, I believe, one of Ghana's best radio programs, the Springboard radio talk show, Your Virtual University, which runs on Joy 99.7. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome Mrs. Comfort.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity, and bless you all for coming this afternoon. It's such a privilege, it's a great honor to be here this afternoon, looking at you and together we learning and rising up together. I'm so grateful, Gina, for your beautiful presentation on seed. So we definitely have to make sure we stretch, we explore, and we extract. Amen. I would like to thank our sponsors for ensuring that this year as well, Springboard is able to come off, is able to impart the various people that form such a substantial part of the program. I am privileged that MTN is on, UMB you are on, Enterprise Life, we have Data Bank, we have York's Rent a Car, we have Yeb Clinic Solutions, we have the Multimedia Group, and various stakeholders who are all invested in ensuring that today we will not only learn, but would also enjoy ourselves. I'm talking about the digital revolution. And my topic simply looks at the world as we live in now. Because as Gina spoke earlier, our world has changed substantively. No longer how it was. And therefore, in this presentation, let's tell us a story about where we are right now, and then we'll look at what impact it has made in this we'll just take one field because of a challenge I had last week. And then going on, we see how we ourselves can apply it in our lives. Are we okay? Fantastic. So what is a revolution? When they say this is a revolution, what is a revolution? A revolution is simply something that transforms a space suddenly, and it has an impact, a real impact on society. So then society can no longer go back to how it behaves. So for instance, if we say that now to drink water, you have to go to a particular spot to go and drink water from there. Nobody can drink water anywhere he or she likes. Suddenly transform the way of drinking water from having water all over the place to having to take water in a specific place that you have to go there, and without that, nobody else will drink water. So when we talk about the digital revolution, we are looking at what the internet has done for us. That we have a capacity to generate things, we have a capacity to process things at a faster speed than ever before. We have the possibility of efficiently applying the knowledge we have gained, looking at those things from the digital space. So we see a combination of speed, we see a combination of technology, we see a combination of the human, and using all that in one space to have a new look in our world. Therefore, I'd like to invite a friend of mine to give us the story as we see whether robots will or will not take our jobs.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
Hi, I'm Robot Thespian.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
This is a humanoid robot, which means it looks, it talks, and it even acts, well, like a human. So does that mean it could take a human's job like mine?
You better believe it. No, I'm only joking, not really.
There's no denying robots and automation are increasingly part of our daily lives. Just look around the grocery store, or the highway, or in the case of Robo Thespian here, even at the theater.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain.
The rise of robots has led to some pretty scary warnings about the future of work.
Robots will be able to do everything better than us.
A recent study found up to 670,000 U.S. jobs lost to robots between 1990 and 2007, and that number is likely to go up. A widely cited study from 2013 found nearly half of all jobs in the U.S. are in danger of being automated over the next 20 years. Occupations that require repetitive and predictable tasks in transportation, logistics, and administrative support were especially high risk. And just think, robots don't need health benefits, vacation, or even sleep for that matter. But the debate over whether robots will take over all of our jobs is by no means settled. Many economists argue automation will ultimately create new jobs. After all, someone has to program the robots, right? Let's go back to the 1850s, when trains were the most popular mode of transportation. This chart shows the number of locomotive engineers, railroad conductors, and brakemen increasing by nearly 600%. But that growth slowed in the early 1900s. Why? You guessed it, the automobile came along. Car mechanic and repairman jobs surged, even though railroad jobs began to disappear. And some companies say the same thing will happen when robots move into the marketplace. A survey of 20,000 employers from 42 countries found that the IT, customer service, and advanced manufacturing industries will add workers over the next 2 years as a result of automation. It's hard to imagine that robots could replicate human characteristics like empathy or compassion that are required in many jobs. I mean, would you really want a robot as your nurse, babysitter, or teacher? But even if robots don't take our jobs entirely, research shows they will significantly change day-to-day tasks in the workplace. This is particularly a problem for lower-skilled workers who aren't able to retrain for new jobs. They might get stuck with lower wages in a world with more robots, and that could make income inequality even worse. These guys are making a lot of things uncertain right now, but one thing that's clear is skills training is required if we hope to get along with friends like them in the workplace.
I think we're going to get along just fine.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
Hi, I'm Robot.
From the steam engine era, where trains that were going from place to place, helping people move things all of a sudden from one end of the world to the other, and it was revolutionary. All of a sudden, we now have the capacity to print things at a faster rate. We could do things faster and better. But that still had a little problem. And then we discovered electricity, so we could no longer sleep. So we were doing work day and night, and that's where we are right now. Changed from where now you had to only 8 hours to work, and now we have 24 hours. I was privileged one time to go to a particular country, China, and truth be told, they do not sleep. You give an order, and you know your order will come through because they tell you that 3 days. 3 days, they have 3 shifts working on your job. And that was what the Industrial Revolution brought about. Based on the discovery of electricity and so on and so forth, now we discovered that, well, it's possible to send ideas, it's possible to send things through some space, which we call the internet. And based on this, so now we went to the we came to the knowledge age. Based on this, you can gather information, and the information doesn't need to sit in a physical space close to you, what we call the cloud, and you can make decisions based on it. And therefore, in our new world where we are, where we've moved from being whether in a steam engine era or the industrial revolution era, and now we've come to the digital era, here we are, and now we are looking at being augmented by either robots, machines, as you saw in the video, or even part of our world. Now, my question that I would like to ask is that, does it have any role to play in our lives, maybe here in Ghana or outside the world? For me, I said I was challenged by a question that Dr. Otabil asked last week, Saturday, when he said that when we talk about the revolution, how has it changed our lives here in GH? In terms of the fact that we should be able to move from things in the normal way and now being able to use it to change our agriculture. Now, if you look at the first picture that you see, the first picture has somebody who's in the normal way. It have changed such that we don't use this. We have the opportunity whereby, and I have, I wouldn't call them friends, but I know of some young gentlemen in Ghana who have what they call the trotro taxi. They have an app, and if you have a farm that you need for it to be plowed, you send them a message on the app. That's my field. How big is it? You send them the information, how big it is, what type of planting you are going to do, and that kind of stuff. And if there's a farmer who has a plow idle, they'll then send the closest farmer to you. So then the farmer doesn't need to finish plowing his field, and then the thing is sitting down forever. Now you can utilize the farming implement around the farming place. So then you don't have to do the farming the usual way that you used to do it. You have the opportunity to use the trotro taxi. I've forgotten the name, this escaped me, but to use this app to improve your farming product. You have people who now have what we call how to irrigate the farm. So then you see, sometimes you see that when we are watering the grass, you know how we waste a lot of water because of how the droplets are big. It has been refined to such a tiny space that the mist that comes on the plants can utilize the water better. So there's greater efficiency in applying that watering system. The same way with even the kind of amount of fertilizer that is used in planting the food. So sometimes, you know that we say that sometimes we are not even sure if the food that we use are good. I mean, it's well done. But here you are, if we use intelligent systems, we can transform our agriculture. There's a system in Ireland that is being explored right now, which can tell a farmer who, if let's say that you know how we have our free-range cows going around, and sometimes if you are driving your car, if you don't take care, you will hit the cow. But the cow can be anywhere, and the cow is about to give birth. It gives information to the farmer saying that I'm about to give birth, and the farmer can go have a precise location of where the cow is and can assist the cow in the delivery. Therefore, my question to us today, here we are in Ghana. These systems do exist. Can we think about how we can change our farming products or our farming methods using the technology that is available, technology that we think we can use here, and by that, improve our space. If we look at our present workspace, they are no longer the way that you would have when you go to the job formally. When you say I'm an accountant, you stay as an accountant, and you just have one computer and you do 1 + 1 = 2. Gina was talking about the friend of ours who I was both an accountant and a marketing person. So then you are no longer one person in the market space. Now you have to know how to do a bit of marketing, a bit of accounting, a bit of procurement, everything, even the way they design things. So you are no longer just stuck in your job that I add 1 + 1 = 2. But now you have to be multi-skilled and multi-talented. So what are the 8 disruptive things that are coming up in the market space? Well, the first thing are the robots, or what we say, the automated ways of doing things. So that if you are going to job to the market space and thinking that, oh, I just need to add 1 + 1, guess what? There's a human, something that is being developed that one day can come and take your job. I was thinking about the fact that nowadays I have a friend who actually brought in a Chinese to come and take up the job of the supervisor in his workspace. He said the guy doesn't have a family. All he knows is that he comes to work. When he closes, he goes back to where he sleeps. So there's no funeral to think about. There's nobody who will come and say my school fees, and he will say, okay, my brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles, something, nothing. So if you think that, oh, machines in Ghana don't work, forget it. It may not be a machine, but it may be somebody from either China or India coming to take your job. So you need to be multi-skilled and multitask. The next thing are drones. Our government is using something like drones to take care of our medical wealth. And you'll be like, oh, so what does it imply? Well, some time ago, some human being had to drive it. That person is now out of a job. Have you thought of it? And that is just the first level. So it is in our world, and we need to think about it very hard. Sensors. You know, nowadays, footballers, sometimes when you're watching DSTV, you would see somewhere they write some statistics and say that this particular footballer ran for 28, or let's say about 15 kilometers. And you're like, how did they measure that? Because they have sensors in their boots. So all those moves is being measured. And the information is taken back to their drawing board. When they go for training, they'll say, okay, so you were running at this speed, and then something happened, and therefore, so they are using the information that they gather to improve what they do. The Internet of Things. I was very happy, I was very amused to find out now even fishes. You can put a sensor on a fish for the fish to tell you that I am hungry or not hungry. Yes. And we want to compete. If we want to compete, then we need to realize the world has changed. And therefore, the way we look at things must also change significantly. Things have changed. Things are not the same. And therefore, we need to change the way we look at things. Virtual reality. I was listening to some podcast the other day where part of the information was they were looking at how they would man space in terms of the fact that now they are going to space, and not only that, they are putting people there. Some person was saying that he was thinking about how he's going to put, like how you extract oil from the Takrady plant. They are thinking of how to extract energy from the rockets and so on that are flying in the space, so that they don't need to come back to space anytime they want to refuel, but they can stand there and do it. So if somebody is thinking about transportation in space, and we are sitting here still thinking about what we will eat, what we will wear, and the latest fashion, are we in the same world? Can we see that we need to move into the digital world so that we can compete, at least start to compete? That is my trust for this afternoon. That is my hope that at the end of this, so therefore, moving on from here, if we looked at blockchain, whereby you have, so you have blockchain, you have augmented reality, all these things are helping us in our field. Okay, so what is the impact? The impact is that some jobs will become redundant, and that is clear. The video said it, not that the video is truth, but whenever anything new comes on, some people lose, some people gain. By all means, jobs will be lost. So see that in your trajectory. Is your job going to be repetitive? This is something that you need to change the way you think about your future job. There'll be replacement by machines. The machine needs to be at a particular point. Are you prepared? Are you literate? Are you, when I say literate, I understand how the machine works. Because it's only those who understand the machines who will still have jobs. Okay? You're going to outsource functions. So then, even though the thing can be done in GH, they're to be sent somewhere else because it's either cheaper, more efficient, and then maybe even better quality. And therefore, even though we should be able to do it here, it will be outsourced, and so there will be some jobs with less. But our capacity will become better. So then somebody who used to have, who maybe had an issue with the hand or with the leg, there'll be various things that you can now wear in your hand, and you can do sometimes even better than what you could do without no leg. And then also, we would have the new jobs. So, some 10 jobs are coming up that will go away. Look at it and see if you are there. So we have data entry clerk. So if you want to be a data entry clerk, please. Because we, formerly when we're doing Springboard, we used to you to write your names. Now, how many of you, when you came in, you were told to type in your information? Most of you typed in your information, didn't you, on your phone? By SMS. So anybody who would have been a volunteer, and sometimes we used to have about 20 people with computers at the back, typing in that information. So all those people technically have lost their jobs because we're data entry. So you have administrative secretaries, just plain secretaries. No, any secretary who would keep the job is the one who is multi-skilled. So I'm talking about repetitive jobs. Any job that is repetitive, it is standard, anything can be taken over, it's gone. It is gone. So the 10 there, which of them, were you going to any of those fields? Okay, fantastic. So let's look at where the opportunities are. Let's look at the opportunities, where the opportunities would be. The people who understand data, people who understand information, people who understand how to extract information, how to manipulate information, how to generate content, how to file content. Those people have jobs and they will continue being relevant. So if you are somebody who does not think that all this computer thing is useful, please rewind your mind. Rewind yourself, because this is 2022. By that time, I don't think I would have retired, but still, your job would be at stake. So, what do I leave you with? I'll say that to continue to be relevant in this field, first, conceptualize. You have a digital platform, you have things that is in the market. Conceptualize. What do I want to do? What do I want to solve? I showed you a great. There's also medicine. There's also all the fields. There's opportunity. And I always say that in Ghana and in Africa, there's space for us. But if we don't take the space, I can assure you, without a shadow of doubt, people will come from elsewhere and take up the space. So this is a call out to us who are in this room, outside in the to know that, look, the space exists. We have to grow our capacity. Oh, boss, you've gone too fast. We have to grow our capacity. We have to know what we need to do, what we need to have to be able to take advantage of that. We need to refine it. So you've developed an app. You've looked at the concept. You've defined, you've refined it. Find out from people, will this work? How will it work? Where will it work? If 10 people are using it, what do I need? If 100 people are using it, what do I need? If 1 million people are using it, what do I need? If 1 billion people are using it, what do I need? When Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook, he was looking at it at just his campus level, UCC level. But then he realized that there was a capacity to grow it. All of a sudden, it's moved from something that was just used on campus to global. I believe in this room, there are people who have the opportunity, the capacity to develop things that can be used globally. But it's only those who realize it and are willing to pay the price who can apply and get it done. So my word to you today is that, number one, we are in the digital world. The digital world has come to meet us. If we don't realize it and we still sit in the comfort of our old spaces, we are in trouble. We need to move into the digital world. We need to know what we can do there, extend our capacity. We need to scale it up so that it doesn't work only in a small space. Because if we use it here only, yes, you will make some impact. You will have some impact, but you will not be able to have the billions that Mark Zuckerberg does because he's not applying it only on his campus, but now he's applying it globally. So we need to look at how we scale it up. And finally, let's tap into divine strategy, because there's nothing that can be done that God does not give us the capacity to do it. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Comfort Okran. I think you can give her a better applause. Very thought-provoking submissions. What's going to happen to us as we have been? The digital revolution has arrived. It's not something that is a far way off. It's here. One of the key points I gleaned from her presentation, the world has changed. It's not about to change. It has changed. Taking from what Auntie Gina said, we need to stretch to occupy some more space, because there's a big world out there. It's not just our small world anymore. Some jobs will become redundant. So whilst we're in school, or we've just completed school, or we are getting out of school, we need to begin to think about how can we occupy space in this big world. Because the world is not just Ghana. Globally, people are thinking about Ghana as a place where they can come and take things as well. And we also have to begin to think about what is there beyond just Ghana. And then we have to be literate enough to adapt. I hope you've written down some critical things that you would think about beyond just today. Because the digital revolution is here, and we have to take advantage of the opportunities it creates. Please let's put our hands together one more time for Mrs. Comfort Okran. Before we get into the colloquium, I'm in a very generous mood today. And they're very lovely giveaways. We have items from Enterprise Life, we have items from UMB Bank, and we have something which is our ultimate from MTN. But I'm not going to give that out now. So, who has prayed this morning? Who had their devotion? Okay. Why do you already know your your number? Who has the middle name Prince? The middle name Prince. Middle name. Okay, whose number ends with 48? Ends with 48. Atimakpo Prince Adi. Are you here? Is Prince here? Oh, Prince is at large. Okay. Where is he? Prince, please stretch, occupy space, quickly. And then, oh, it's a lovely name. It's a lady. Your number ends in 0404, and your last name is Tewia. Is that you? Gloria. What's your phone number? Congratulations. Congratulations, Prince. Gloria, what's your full phone number? Yeah, we don't want all of you to hear, so you can start calling here. Congratulations, Gloria. Okay, I'm giving out the last gifts from Enterprise Life. I think I should. Oh, somebody's blessing just passed by. Oh, it's another lady. Please, if your handwriting is not nice, is this your card? Ainchi. Your surname is Ainchi. And you are a lady. And your phone number ends with 966. Please come. Are you Davida? Congratulations, Davida. You get a gift from Enterprise Life. And I'll do the last one and then we'll go into our colloquium. Okay, this one has to be a guy. 0244 66 Whose number is that? Congratulations. Daniel Godwill Mensah. Is Daniel here? Please put your hands together. Congratulations, Daniel. Okay, so congratulations to all our winners. We're going to go ahead with our colloquium. And so please, I'll ask Mrs. Comfort Okran and Mrs. Asari Fiagbenu to please join me up on stage. And Mrs. Comfort Okran. So if you haven't sent in your questions already, you still have the opportunity to do so. We're going to have the colloquium for just 30 minutes. And so I feel like I'm very far away from you, but no problem. We have a number of very interesting questions, and I must say quite mind engaging. So our first set of questions go to you, Georgina, and this is from Jake, a level 300 student a level 300 accounting student, and Jake's question is, with the last E in C, that's extract, how do you extract forcefully when you do not have the needed resources to do so? So this is someone who possibly thinks or believes he has a resource limitation. And so how do you extract forcefully when you don't have the needed resources?
Well, I think that there are so many ways of getting resources. I don't really know what example he is thinking of when he talks about how do you extract forcefully. I think extraction is just trying to take out, extract. You have to do it with force, because if something is in its raw state and you want to refine it, if you want to get the best out of something, you really have to go out of your way to get it done. So for example, if you are doing business, you want to start business and you don't have money, depending on what you want to do, you can get people to help you. Because there are so many people who want to start business, and we've had so many examples where people had to borrow, for example, from their family members. People have said that their mommy gave them their first capital. Some will say their father had to sell a car to give him his capital. So the resources don't always have to come from you. It should come from someone who believes in what you are doing. And that is why I said you must first believe in yourself. So for example, in Accra, last 2 weeks, we heard the CEO of MTN talking about the fact that he had to turn in or go to about 400 different interviews. He sent in about 400 applications before he got his first job. This is going out of your way. You can imagine, application after application after application. And I have so many people I know who go for 2-3 interviews and they start complaining. They come to you and say, oh, I went for this interview, I sent my CVs to about a few places. And a few places is maybe about 10 or 20 companies. They go for 2 interviews, they've given up. And then some of them just give up and say, I'm going to do my master's. Doing your master's doesn't solve your problem. And that is why we are talking about taking up spaces, because there's so much space out there. So resources, it depends on what resources you need. But whatever resources you need, if you don't have it, you have someone within your network who can give it to you. And that is why I said you should look up someone who is more senior, or someone who has more than you have. You can look at your colleagues. It can even be someone younger. So you should not be afraid to start small. I think that if you are too big to start small, when the big things come, nobody will come for you. You have to start small. That's all I can say for now.
Thank you. So I hope that Emmanuel's question has been answered. We'll go to anti-comforts. And this is a very technical, digitalized question. And this person is Festus from the University of Cape Coast. And he says, how do we take a right first approach to digital transformation and technology use? So what's the right approach to adopt technology? How do we take the right first approach to digital transformation and technology use? Or how do we develop organizational capacities for change? So how do we align processes, people, and foresight to take advantage of the digital revolution?
Right. Remember I talked about globalization. So first thing is what you want to achieve with your digitalization. Because we are talking about digital transformation, so you also think that then you just put things together. You must first have an idea what you are hoping, what question you are hoping to answer. So first, what is the concept? What are you hoping to answer? Then what do you need to improve? So then, if maybe in your particular organization, clients talk about the fact that when they get in touch, nobody responds to them, then how do we ensure that clients' queries are answered? Then you know what technologies to employ, what kind of structures you should put in place in case the technology fails. What is the next step and that kind of stuff. So it depends on what you want to achieve. It depends on what the problem you are answering. It depends on what you have, what you need to put in place, how you train the people to use the technologies that have been put in place, and ensure that they do not sidestep that thing that you put in place. After that, then you see if that same technology can be used in another space, so that you don't have to put one thing here and go for something else altogether, and it's also here. Something else altogether is also here. In the end, you have cycles that do not talk to each other. The main idea about digitization is that you are able to get information from different sources and use the various information that you have gathered to come out with some knowledge. And based on that knowledge, you can then make a decision and implement it in your company. So for instance, if we have MTN that is all over the for you, and you have a problem, the MTN, we know that we have this particular village has X number of people living in, and tells us that we are going to the weatherman tells us that there's going to be bad weather coming up. We can use the information gathered from the number of people who live in that place, the number of farms that are there, get the agric people to go and tell them that, look, this is what is going to happen to you in the next 2 months. And therefore, let's start this as a mitigating factor. Based on that, we will not suffer the kind of crop failing that we would have done if they didn't know earlier on. So my short question is, what are you trying to solve? What do you have in place? How can you get what you put in to speak to each other so that you don't have just information just sitting down doing nothing, but you use the information that you gather to give you a better output?
I think that for me is the very important point, that we want to get better outputs. And so the analysis of the problem must be very critical.
Very
and then
critical.
The focus is to get a better output. Okay, thank you. Georgina, when you were talking about go beyond C, you mentioned the fact that talent is not enough. We have a question from Emmanuel that says, how do you, after discovering multiple talents, settle on one talent or more? And how do you ensure that you reach to higher heights in life? And this is a common question that we get from young people who believe that they're multi-talented. On the other hand, Comfort has said that the digital revolution opens us up to the point where we have to be multi-skilled. So how do we manage the thinking that you have to have one talent versus we have to be multi-skilled? So his question is, I have multiple talents. How do I make sure that, how do I manage those multiple talents? And then the question to Comfort would be, how do I move those talents from just talents to ensuring that I am now multi-skilled to take advantage of the opportunities?
Well, I think in the first place, if you have multiple talents, the starting point is there will be one that you are very passionate about. I'm just thinking that if you even have 4 or 3 talents, so for example, you can sing, you can act, you can write, maybe you're very good, you can dramatize things, and you work for an organization. So it has to do with decision making. At every point in time in your life, you have to decide what level you want to go to. So it's not necessary for you to always use the same skills, all the skills at the same time. There may be a point in time in your life when you will be able to use all. But I would say that for a start, you can develop one. So for example, you finish school, you realize you are very good at writing. You go into journalism, you're a reporter, you are doing your work. And then you also realize that you can act very well. So whilst you're doing your work, for example, if you want to go to drama school or something, you can use the weekends to do that. And so whilst working, you can do your writing, and during the weekends, you can act. And it gives you extra income. You've entered into another space, like she's saying. There may be a time where you even need all, because, for example, now, you can generate your own content and put it on YouTube. So we have people like the KSMs who, even as an individual, he can act and do everything. So you alone can even act and put content on YouTube. That's a starter for you. Perhaps you can sing. And we've discovered a lot of people who have put content on YouTube and they become hits. So you may be very good at singing. You want to be #1, you want to join MTN's hit makers. You go about just doing your work. You're a secretary, or you are, now we want to be administrative secretaries, isn't it? Or administrators. So you manage the office, you do this, you do supplies and all that. And then you can also generate content that is good, of course, wholesome content. Put it on YouTube. Someone sees you and picks you as a star. And also says, oh, I want to develop you. I can see you are very good in music. So the person develops you. At a point in time, you may rate one over the other. So for example, you become Kwame Eugene and you decide that you want to do full-time music. And even whilst you are singing, if you're a good writer, you can be writing. So you have singers who are writers. You can author, you can write your own book. And Comfort is here doing multiple things. So she's speaking, she's motivating, she's writing. So depending on what you want to achieve in life, you may want to take one step at a time. But at a point in time, when you've harnessed all your skills, you can also display all the skills.
Thank you very much. And so then I'll come to the skill side of it. How does this individual then develop to multiple skills?
Can we have one more mic upstage? The opportunity to develop multiple skills happens when you know that, okay, I have been able to, as she said, you first start with that one and look at how to get to the top in that particular field. So you devote maybe 2 years in developing that skill through different training opportunities, learning, exposing yourself in various, whenever the opportunity comes and so on and so forth. After that, once you have drilled down in one space, you then move to the next space and start developing that as well. You have one and then you add on the next. There's no possibility of being able to start one and by some miracle the others will develop by themselves. You have to take time to develop the other skills as well. The main thing is that as you are developing it, you are able to use what you have in the ones that you have developed first and continue. I happen to have chance on a conversation that Salom was having with somebody in how he grew himself in the consulting field and said, I decided that I will take, he said, vertical drilling. So he would take a particular field in consulting and learn, let's say, about how to office space automation, and then he would learn that field. When he's mastered it, he moves to the next part, which is procurement, and learns there, goes to the next part. So right now he says that any organization that he goes into, he's able to play across because he understands all, whether it's finance, whether it is management, he understands all the various aspects of it. Therefore, in growing the multiple skill, take your time and drill down. Don't just say that I'm multi-talented and therefore I can play everywhere. You can't do it.
Thank you very much, Comfort. This is from Francesca, and she says, I love and wish to start something in life. But the truth is, I come from a very poor background, and how to even survive in school has been a problem. Please, how can I do in life what I'm looking at this situation? And this is a question that we've had from 4 other individuals. So they're looking at their background and they're wondering, where do we go from here? How do we move up from this seemingly disadvantaged point?
You may come from a poor background, but at least you're educated, and that's something. There's somebody sitting there who has not been to school at all. So that is one field, one starting point. Secondly, as well, there's you are learning some, I don't know which field you are in. Now, let me give you a practical example. When we were in school, Albert started a job. I mean, in those days, people were not even doing jobs on campus, but he started his first business when we were in school and used that to take care of himself on campus. So ask, what kind of business can I do whilst I'm on campus? Your business will not require $10,000. It may require maybe just about 50 CDs. 50 CDs implies that you are putting aside 5 CDs a day. In 10 days, you will get that 50 CDs. Or you can go and ask a friend who has the 50 CDs and promise a friend that can you borrow 50 CDs in maybe a month? I'll pay you back with maybe 10 extra CDs. So I'll pay you 60 CDs. And please, when you borrow the money, pay back. And then look at what business you can do or what you can invest that 50 CDs into to get some little profit and go along. The thing is, sometimes we want to start huge, not even big, huge. Let's be willing to start small by looking within our location. What is available there? What do I have and what can I use? When Gina was telling the story of the daughter, this is somebody who said, this is what I want to do. And she went, pestered the parents. You may not have the parents to go and pester, but you may have a friend to go and pester. The parents, they didn't tell us the truth. They pestered their friend, you see. So now go and pester your friend and let your friend give you that opportunity, and don't abuse the opportunity. Sometimes we may have the idea and we've not refined it, and they give us a thing and the thing gets spoiled, and we don't even go back and go and give account. Somebody near my house, so I'm doing Lapo. Somebody near my house came and said, oh, I want to start a business. Oh, my business, so give me money. I gave the money. The person has not come back in a year and a half to come and tell me that, oh, the money that you gave to me, this is what I have done with the money. And therefore, do you think that if somebody comes to me next time asking me to give him or her money to do something, I'll look again. So let's be faithful with the small that we are given. Let's use it well and let's account for it.
Let me just add a bit to it. And I think that we tend to get these answers anytime you go on such platforms. You know, people make the assumption that, you know, we all came from very privileged backgrounds. I mean, I'm sure that years ago when I was in university, I would also have said the same thing. But in my mind, well, I wouldn't say I came from a poor home, but I came from a very average home. You know, and when I was in second year in university, I lost my father. My mother wasn't working. You know, but I never saw myself as so poor as, you know, not privileged. And like she said, I was in university. And I could think, and I knew some of my mates who had more resources were from better homes who were not in the university. So it's how you think and position yourself. I never saw myself as underprivileged. I didn't come from, you know, a rich background. I was living, I mean, for those of you who live in Accra, if you know Tudu, that's where I was raised. I used to walk to school. I used to carry all sorts of things. I used to sell at a point in time, my sisters and I. You know, and we never went to any family member. But, you know, the relationships you have, and I keep on going back to relationships, very important. They're not abusing the relationships. And values are very important. If you have your values, it drives everything you do in life. So, for example, when you are in church, how do you behave in church? Anytime it was time for me to go to school after I lost my father, you know, people would just give to me because I was singing in church. I was doing a lot of things. I was ushering. I was in the youth department. I was helping. So when it was time for me to go to school, people would come to me and say, Gina, when are you going to school? And they would give me things. You know, people would give me provisions. They would give me money. And the little I had, I appreciated it and worked with it. And I never went to any family member. You know, we all supported ourselves as, you know, my siblings. And we didn't see ourselves as underprivileged. Rather, we put all our energies in our studies. And we made sure that we took advantage of the relationships we had. You know, let me say this because it's very important. There are people that, you know, you engage and you clearly see that they abuse relationships. You know, they have access to you and all of a sudden they think, you know, they are better than you, or I don't know, the way they talk to you, the way they address people. And let me say again, those of you who are in groups, you know, communities and WhatsApp groups and social media, because sometimes it's a faceless conversation, people tend to go overboard. People are very rude to potential employers. And they are on a WhatsApp group with maybe CEOs, you know, a chat group, and you just say things anyhow. You argue with people. Sometimes you are very rude. You know, and these are the same people who are going to employ you. These are the same people who will give you your capital. These are the same people you go and ask for loans. So we have to take advantage and not abuse the opportunities we have. And never think that you are underprivileged because you come from a poor background. You have education and you have this forum. That should equip you.
Thank you. Our final question. What is the way forward if your dream career falls in the list of declining jobs? And so if your dream career is on the list of declining jobs, predicted to go away by 2022, what should we do?
Fantastic. We'll call that repositioning. So yes, your job is in the declining industry. Reposition yourself. The good thing is that you found out early enough, and therefore from now, even as you're sitting here, you are looking at how do I therefore make myself more relevant? How do I understand more about the Internet of Things? How do I understand how virtual reality or augmented reality works? How do I understand how can I use the skills I have gathered in my declining field and leverage that? Once the fact that the field is going away doesn't mean that the field is no longer needed. At least you understand what are the key things that make that field relevant, and therefore you marry that with technology, and all of a sudden you have repositioned yourself, turn yourself around from somebody who was going to obscurity to somebody who can even show how, if that particular skill is tooled well using artificial intelligence, it would inure well to the organization. So the main thing is reposition yourself, do a 360, and you'll be able to be relevant going forward.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Comfort Okwan and Mrs. Asari Fiagbenu. Please let's put our hands together for our panelists who have done a very good job at expanding on our questions. Oh, please keep clapping until they take their seats. And so please don't be discouraged. If for any reason you find that your dream job is on the list of declining jobs, reposition. And for me, one of the key things is stretch. The world is so large. There's so many opportunities. We have to figure out how we can take advantage of those opportunities. We're going to go straight into our talent expose. And the Springboard Talent Expose is new. This is the first year we're doing it. I think we should put our hands together for ourselves. Now, morale. We need morale. The Springboard UMB Talent Expose is a new addition to Springboard. It's the first time we're doing it, and we're very appreciative to UMB for sponsoring this. It's a contest of creative skills for talented Ghanaians between the ages of 18 and 35. And what we want to do with this is to unearth those talents and then to give ourselves the thinking and the opportunity to decide on how we want to scale it. So if you have a talent, what next? It's not good enough to just have a talent, but we want you to begin to think about what will you do with that talent. And so thanks to UMB, this afternoon we'll be crowning some winners. The ultimate winner will go home with 2,000 cedis cash. That's a lot of money. The first runner-up will get 1,000 cedis, and the second runner-up will go home with 500 cedis. And we have some judges. That's a lot of money. Let's put our hands together for UMB. And so even before we start, I'm going to introduce our judges. We had a wonderful time in Accra, and I'm sure we're even going to have a better time here. Our judges for today are Mr. Chris Agre, who is a communication and marketing professional with background in broadcast journalism. And then we have Dr. Edward Amatefio, who is a lecturer. Dr. Amatefio has home support, who is a lecturer, financial advisor, an entrepreneur, a consultant, and a researcher. And he's currently the coordinator of the University of Cape Coast Business Incubator. And last but not the least, Mr. Roland Akafia, who is the head of Public-Private Partnership Incubator Center at the Universal Merchant Bank. And of course, we know that UMB is the sponsor of the UMB Talent Exposé. So let's put our hands together for our judges. Do we have drum roll? We're going to have our talents. And so I'll introduce our talents. Altogether, we have 5 groups. Actually, 7 groups. There's 7 different groups that are going to perform today. And when our acts come up, please give them moral support. It's not easy coming on stage. But the first performance is by someone who has been described as a passionate DJ. He has a vision to reach the next level in his craft in the next 3 years. He loves to acquire new skills, and he's always challenging himself in whatever he does to do better. Ladies and gentlemen, our first act for today is Ebenezer Yeboah, please wait, aka DJ Exterior.
It's your man, DJ Exterior. All right. Are you ready to party? Are you ready to party? Girls and stubborn fans here, let me see your hands. Oh, do I have educated fans here? Oh, do you people know your level? Okay, all right. If you know all this, then let's start to party. Are you with me? Are you ready to party?
Right, the niggas, the figure see them, did them up. But we just did it. Be like everybody, they want to be photo. Let me get the jigger for me. Do one fast, do one slow, do one slow. If I say you only live once, for the boys, for the girls, to the niggas, let's do them together. For the man, let's do them together. For the ones in love, but they can't tell. Yeah, so put your hands in the air. All right, let's go. Like you really don't care. Yeah. To the left, to the right. Oh, you go there, do the dance, do the dance. Everybody make us see you do the dance, do the dance, do the dance. Everybody make us see you do the dance. Put up no answer again, and in the end, all the bad man them. Give thanks for life again. We could take them to the dance hall again. Time and time again, if we fall, we go rise and fly again. Money go come again. What is he saying here? I agree, make we both champagne. Yeah, stop on fast, let me see your hands. Stop on fast. Yeah, let me see your hands. I see that. Are you ready for Samini? Let me see you, dance, let me see you. Won't worry me.
All right.
Don't you know how they do MTN Hitmaker? You wait. So what's the name again?
It's DJ Exterior.
Aha, DJ Exterior. Okay. I'm going to allow one of our judges, Mr. Roland Akafia, to just explain to us what you're looking out for and then to give your comments on his performance.
All right. Before my colleague comes to your performance, what we're looking at here is creativity. We're looking at originality, quality of your artistic composition, character and personality, and then scalability. Those are the things we're looking out for.
All right, DJ Exterior, I want to find out whether you are a DJ or an artist. Because personally, with what you did, I saw you more like an artist on stage performing to the crowd than a DJ. So, but all in all, I guess you were not too composed. When you came in, you should have waited to settle before you start so that everything would run, smoothly. But you did well all the same. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Agri. Thank you very much, sir. We're going to go ahead and... Okay. We're going to go ahead and welcome our second act. Now, this contestant is an HND commercial arts student who is studying painting as a student of the Takrady Technical University. He's passionate about art and loves to explore his brush. He dreams of being a huge ambassador of the arts and hopes to become a legend through his contribution to the industry. And he's going to show us his talent through arts. Ladies and gentlemen, Isaac Chuku Ode is an artist.